The Atlanta Hawks have been rumored to be interested in trading for Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert. And in this video, I'm going to try to break down what that fit would look like in Atlanta, the pros and the cons of making the trade, and ultimately my verdict on what I think the Hawks should do. Should they trade for him or should they not? Starting with the pros, I'm a big Rudy Gobert guy. He's going to be 30 for next season. He's in his prime. Like, I think he's a talented offensive player, but people don't really give him his flowers there, and rightfully so, because like he just doesn't shoot the ball that much. But he shot over 70% from from the field this year, and mostly inside the rim. But that's still impressive. But defensively, he's a generational talent. Like, I think we need to have the same conversation about him as we did with Steph Curry revolutionizing the offensive side of the game from the 3 point line. I mean, Gobert is such a generational defender that he is taking a Jazz team that would be, statistically speaking, one of the worst, if not the worst, defensive team in the NBA without him, to a top five defense with him. You think of Utah, one of the first things you think of is defense. Utah has horrible defensive personnel and somehow is one of the best defensive teams in the league every year, mostly because of Rudy Gobert. Like, not only is he a good rim protector, but the amount of guys that he can just push away from the rim and the amount of shots he like that come from the perimeter because he just discourages scoring at the rim is incredible. He will change your defense overnight. He will be the best player in the trade. Like, the Hawks will be immediately a better regular season team. They immediately will be better when it comes to competing in the playoffs. Like, he's just that type of player. And if he doesn't get the type of recognition that he deserves on ESPN or NBA TV or NBA on TNT, because like it's not trendy. Defense isn't sexy. But if you look at like the analytics, you look at the NBA experts that really follow the game, they'll tell you Gobert is a superstar. He is a generational talent defensively. And so on the pro side, it just makes a lot of sense because you'd be getting the best player in the trade in his prime. He's going to transform your defense. He's make you a better team. On the cons, though, and this is what I'm worried about, is he's got a big contract and he's got a heavy price to get him from Utah to Atlanta. He's got 4 years left on the contract, average salary of about $42 million a year. He's rumored to, I think DeAndre Hunter's probably in the package to trade him. You maybe John Collins or Okongwu, definitely some draft capital. And that's not really the part in terms of like the players. I think like if DeAndre Hunter for Gobert, like maybe add on another piece, that's fine with me. That's really fine with me. But it's just, you're going to need a star scorer next to Trae Young to win an NBA Finals. That's the ultimate goal at the end of the day, is to win the NBA Finals. And you're going to need like a Zach LaVine type piece, a Chris Middleton type piece, like maybe a Donovan Mitchell. That wouldn't be ideal if you ask me. But if you have Gobert and you have Trae Young, both supermax players, both getting paid over $40 million a year, and you trade a whole bunch of assets for Gobert, how will you be able to get a third star or a second dominant scorer? How will you have the cap space to do that? How will you have the assets to do that? Because the goal is to win the NBA Finals. It'll be great if the Hawks are a better regular season team. It'll be great if they can win another playoff series and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But you want to make it to the championship and you want to win the championship. Gobert can help you do that, but you need another scorer next to Trae Young. That's just a given. And so if you trade for Gobert and you're paying Trae Young and Gobert almost like $95 million a year, that's really going to limit your ability to pay a third star. That's really going to limit the assets that you have to go out and maybe trade for a third star. If you don't have the money to sign a guy, maybe trade for a guy in a more better contract. But if you trade a lot of guys to get Gobert, then you may not be able to do that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it probably just depends on the price. Like, I think Gobert would be a great fit in Atlanta. I think he would make the Hawks a better team, but he alone is not going to make you a finals contender. So if you're not going to be able to sign a third star or trade for a third star after you get Gobert, then you shouldn't get Gobert. I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Thanks for watching, everybody.